Hey guys, and welcome back to Dirt Road 4x4. Yep, I'm at another car museum. And this is a little bit different from the normal car museums I do, where I do Holdens and lots of V8s and lots of really cool cars. This is really cool. I'm at the MG Museum in Geelong. The MG Museum in Geelong boasts the biggest collection of MGs in the world. Now, we're not talking the Chinese stuff. We're talking about the British classics, the legendary MGs that we've all grown up with and seen on the roads. It's a privately owned collection. Costs about $20 to go in, but it's worth its weight in gold. Let's get in and have a look at some classic MG cars. So they've got like a meeting room area here, and they've got the heater blaring because it's quite cool this morning. And they've got a morning tea, so we'll have a coffee and have a chat with everybody and just enjoy being around cars. Wow, they've got an amazing representation of MGs here. Always liked MGs. I know my dad, he always wanted an MG. I thought I'd jump in here before everybody came in because all the other folks are in having their coffee and a bicky. Wow, got a lot of cars here. So I'm definitely not an expert on MGs, so I'm not going to try and commentate on what's here. I could easily go one by one because everything is marked really well. So there's a card for every vehicle. So this is a 1934 MJPE airline. Even got chassis numbers. So there's a lot of information here on the actual vehicles. So if you get the opportunity to come here, you can certainly have a look at it. So this beautiful car here is a 1930. There is only 4 of these in the world. I'm going to go around and do the motor in a moment. But this is the only one in the world that actually runs. So pretty amazing. So we'll go around, we'll have a look at the motor on this beautiful car. How nice is that? That's so beautiful. Once again, as we've seen in all the other cars, the seats are amazing. Right, let's have a look at the motor. So this is the first model that went from side valve to overhead. It's a 6-cylinder, and you can see it's pretty schmicko. Pretty nice. All right, we better get out of here. Wow, look at that. Big banger, 1938. Sounds like they're going to get started in there, so we might jump into it.
Sign the visitors book on your way out. The products record of who's been and where they're from. Don't worry about it, go for it. 15, started an apprenticeship, fell out with the boss, went repairing bicycles on his own account, and went building bicycles. Then got into motorbikes, as so many of the very many of the early car manufacturers started making bikes and motorbiking cars, and that's really what happened with Morris. He had a retail business, Morris Garages, in Oxford, and ultimately started manufacturing cars. So this is one of the fairly early Morris Cowleys. We all know the familiar bullnose radiator, which was the trade. And then, like most car designs, they've got bigger and faster and flatter. So we come to the J-type midget. The was part of the magnetic. range. This is a magnet tour, NA tour. That is that. Owners of these cars will know when their camshaft oil fill's leaking when they stop producing power. Oil in it. So, it's just a double right at the top and you don't know that vertical thing. But a little bit more money to check out the range and then it was immediate. All the possibly spikes and engineers were having in fact, energy had quite a lot to do with the air. Which again, all energies basically have been underpinnings that come from the Morris, BMC, whatever the current cars were in the line. This one's the front end of the Metro, which replaced the Mini, stuck in the back to make a bit the mid-engine car. But they were worried that they'd sort of lost the image in the public mind of sports cars. So you can buy a brand new MGB body shell.
It's actually 3.9, this one here. But you can see the interior here. The gentleman here, what was your name? David. David's been giving us the tour today. And David was just telling me that at the end of the day, it's got a 3.9 V8 and all the rest of it, but it's still MGB underneath. But it's very, very plush, this one here. And it'll be a comfortable little car to drive. 5-speed manual and all the wood grain. It looks very, very nice and the seats look nice and comfy. And it is a convertible, which is even better. What year is this one, David? David was nice enough to let me just get behind the rope and have a look. 1995, there you go. So this is 2 years younger than my Corvette.
Actually, you know what colour it is. Black. Any advance on black?
That'll be a very dark green.
Yeah, it's very, very dark green. Yeah, you get the light on the sky.
Yeah, you can only just see the tint green in the air.
Yeah. It's a very dark green. Yeah.
This one here interests me. It's a 1936 MGTA airline. And I was looking at it and the colour is striking with the gold and the black. But I'm not sure whether we can pick it up. I'll do a close-up with my phone. But on the roof, there's 3 little windows on the roof, which you would say is a style of sunroof. David was nice enough to let me come behind the rope once again and have a look at Grace and check out this amazing roof. And how old's this one here? 1936? 34? Look how plush it is for its age, just amazing. A lot of character in this car. But it was just interesting that I just spotted the roof and one of my mates here, Rod, and I were just having a look at it, and it's affectionately known as Grace. I see a sign over the back there which has a lot more history on it. But yeah, it's been interesting. The gentleman's been walking around and going through each car and the history. Like I was saying in the intro, this is the biggest collection of MGs in the world. There isn't a bigger one anywhere. I believe there's 49 cars here, the guys were saying, and it is privately owned. The really good thing is if you are interested in older vehicles and classic vehicles like this, it's really good that every car has its own plaque, its own certificate saying what the car's about, year of manufacturer, engine numbers, chassis numbers, that sort of thing. Interesting, I was looking at the different names on here. So this one here is a Morris Oxford. And this one here is a Morris Cowley. So it's had different iterations of its name over the years. And And they've got the history right from the start, which is really good. All right, well, we'll call it quits from the MG Museum here in Geelong. Hope you enjoy the video. I like this. It's got its own heater in there. So that's all you got in between the engine and where your feet are on the pedals. Easy to work on. Imagine it's so simple to work on. But it's got a nice big 6-cylinder in that one. And there's one over here, I'll show you very briefly. This one here is actually supercharged. So I'm guessing it's got something to do with what's going on out the front of this car here. And once again, this is a special car. This is the one I mentioned earlier in the video with the supercharger, which we can't really see because it's on the front of the engine, as you saw. But I was just looking at the exhaust on this. And look at the interior. And once again, super plush, super comfortable. Now look at this engine. Look at this engine.
And that's the intake comes from the carburetor.
Oh, right, okay. So there's your intake coming in. Why are the spark plugs here?
Oh, because these were notorious for oiling up their spark
Oh,
plugs.
really? So you just have spares? Wow.
It's fairly common in the day to have a spare set.
Oh, is it? It's amazing, isn't it? I'll just get you going back. And then on the front, as I mentioned earlier in the video, there's our supercharger, which is actually on the front of the vehicle on the crank. So pretty amazing. All right, we'll call it quits here at the MG Museum here in Geelong. Like I always say, if you like our stuff, please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Helps a small channel like ours. And yeah, we'll get out of here. Cheers, guys.